So today, heavily viewer requested, we're going to take a look at the Cobalt drills here. Now I have the previous generation and the new generation. Previous generation, the KDD 524B-03 here. Now you can still buy this at Lowe's, and it comes with a 2 amp hour and 4 amp hour versus the KDD 124B-03, which only comes with a 2 amp hour. Both kits MSRP are $140. We'll look at the differences and then we'll get them on the dyno. So one thing right off the bat, the previous generation, the handle here is about 2 inches shorter than the newer generation. Also, the clamping is quite different as well. The older generation, the clamping only clamps up at the top, where this newer generation fully comes down and clamps actually the bottom part of the housing. And you can see that difference here. Now both clamps do have the same grip. So quite a big difference in overall length, with the new generation coming in about 3/4 of an inch actually shorter than the previous generation. Grips are different here as well, with the newer generation having rubber actually down on the bottom versus the old here. Preference-wise, I actually prefer this older generation feel than the newer generation. Older generation also has much more ventilation. Sides here, we have a large slot versus some small slots here on the new gen. Chuck is the same. Clutch looks to be the same, just a little bit different housing. You have the same number of settings. And then of course your speed selection there on top. Both are made in China. So here's some more specs if you're curious on this table. Now this is ranged from MSRP, so we'll have to go to the second page. So I'm on the dyno here like normal. Got the previous generation Cobalt. We're going to go ahead and run through all the batteries, run 3 pulls per battery, and I'll show you a run from the best performing battery. 8 amp hour, ultimate output. New generation, same deal, ultimate output. Max torque, we have some interesting numbers here, with the new one supposed to be 200 inch-pounds more than the previous generation. When in all reality on the dyno, I actually seen that the older generation performed better than the newer generation, and you can see that here. With the highest torque surprisingly coming from the standard 4 amp hour battery. Now when we look at watts, a little bit different story. New generation definitely outperformed the previous generation. And for the most part, as you go up in amp hours, the watts climb. The only thing to keep in mind here, with that 4 amp hour ultimate output, it didn't perform as well as the standard 4 amp hour. Now looking at how these compare versus the other drills I've tested, they are up near the top, falling just below the DCD 805 or 800 and the CAT DX13. If you look at cost to watts, kit-wise, the previous generation does seem to be a pretty good value when it comes with that 4 amp hour. One other thing to point out is the new gen was about 50 RPMs faster than the previous generation. Now again, any drills marked here in red failed on the dyno. So some very interesting results. We didn't see that higher torque with the newer generation, but what we did see was a significant boost in watts out. One thing I wasn't expecting though is how bad the 4 amp hour ultimate output performed on the drill. Yes, it's a lot smaller than the standard 4 amp hour, but performance-wise, it's definitely not equivalent. Whereas when we look at the 8 amp hour versus the 6 amp hour, that's definitely where this 8 amp hour is better performance-wise than the 6 amp hour, and the size is about the same. But overall, I'm quite impressed with the performance of these drills. I would say if you're going to pick one up, I think you go with the previous generation for that added value there, having the 2 amp hour and the 4 amp hour in the kit for basically the same price as the newer generation, which only comes with that 2 amp hour. I will load test these batteries in a separate video and do a teardown. We'll definitely see what's going on with that 4 amp hour ultimate output. Again, a lot lower performance than I expected. Hopefully you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.